full of hate and loathing, and I gotta tell you, I love it.
Well, it's so good to have someone to share this hate with.
Hey, tomorrow, if you have time, I'm planning on despising everyone who says, hey, how's it going?
You're on.
Hey, how's it going? Oh no, that's just too easy.
Season 1, episode 16, Star-Crossed Lovers and Other Strangers. Honestly, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. Stars Hollow is celebrating the anniversary of how Stars Hollow became Stars Hollow. And basically, it's like a festival, a bonfire for lovers. And Lorelai is hating the whole, she's over love right now. And so that's one big plot. The other plot is it's Rory and Dean's 3-month anniversary. It's kind of like 3 plots. So, last plot is Rachel comes back to Stars Hollow. Luke's Rachel. So, the Lorelai bit. I thoroughly enjoyed Lorelai in this episode. Big Stars Hollow of it was a festival of like lovers and how this man and this woman followed a star to where the gazebo is in Stars Hollow. And that's how they like reunited with each other and how it becomes Stars Hollow. And so it's just a whole festival about love. And you see all these couples, and even just walking around Stars Hollow, everyone is in their lovey-dovey phase. And Lorelai is not here for it because she's been so busy the last few episodes that she hasn't had time to really realize like she's not dating anyone. She's not dating Max right now. And so this episode is when it first hits her that she's no longer in a relationship with him, and she realizes how much she actually misses him. And she is just hating on all the couples, and it's so funny. Everywhere she goes, she's seeing all this love and couple stuff, and she's just not happy about it. Because it's kind of like those real videos you see where it's like a couple and it's like a single person, and the ones I've been seeing a lot are the ones where the couple is eating a piece of spaghetti and they're trying to do like the Lady and the Tramp, and then the single person comes and breaks the spaghetti piece. So that would be Lorelai in this situation. Like, she was hating on the couples. So I thoroughly enjoyed Lorelai in this. She ends up asking her mom if Rory can miss the Friday night dinner so she can celebrate her 3-month anniversary with Dean, and Emily agrees easily. So Lorelai should have known something was up. So Lorelai goes to the Friday night dinner, and her mom, Emily, has set her up with a blind date. And so he comes to the Friday night dinner, surprises both Richard and Lorelai. They're like, what? And so Emily is trying to set up Lorelai, and it's the most boring guy ever. So Lorelai ends up sneaking out. She gets caught by her dad, but her dad's like, Emily, I didn't find Lorelai. So it's kind of like a way that they're mending their relationship from last episode because they were kind of in an argument and they weren't in a good place. So this kind of like made their relationship a little bit better because last episode they weren't in a good place. And so for Richard to kind of have a bonding moment with Lorelai and kind of like allow her to sneak out of this date that was terrible, then it kind of like mended them a little bit and kind of still shows how Richard is looking out for Lorelai even though they don't agree and their relationship isn't in the best place. One of the other big plots is the fact that Luke's Rachel comes back to Stars Hollow, and it just so happens that Lorelai is at the diner when Rachel pops up. She gets to meet Rachel firsthand, and so Luke is kind of hesitant to even start something with Rachel because he's like, what if she leaves again? And so Lorelai is actually the one that encourages him to like, hey, give her a chance, you know, you never know, she may be here to stay. And so I think that's kind of sweet of Lorelai. As you can tell, it was kind of hard for her to do that because she's starting to realize she likes Luke, but she kind of put what Luke needed above her own, which is something new for Lorelai because Lorelai can be kind of selfish. It's something I've noticed in this series. But for her to do that, like, it shows that she definitely really cares about him and is thinking about him and not what she wants. So yeah, so Luke is kind of, by the end of the episode, he's ready to give Rachel a chance. So Rory and Dean, it's their 3-month anniversary. Rory is able to get out a Friday night dinner to celebrate her relationship with Dean, and Dean has planned this whole elaborate day just for them to celebrate it. So first they go to this really fancy restaurant. Dean allows Rory to order 3 entrees just because she can't decide what she wants, and they get tiramisu. And then after that, then they go to part 2 of their date, which is to go to the bonfire and actually celebrate with the other couples. So then while they're there, Dean's like, I have another surprise for you. So then they dip off because it's taking a while for the bonfire to get started because no one has matches, and apparently this is something that happens every single year. So it's tradition for Stars Hollow. And so then they leave. He takes her to kind of like a junkyard, and he shows her this car. And it's basically a car that Dean is building by himself, and he's planning to gift it to Rory. So he shows it to her, and Rory's like, you're building me a car? Like, I mean, that's kind of wild. Like, she's getting a car built for her? That's crazy. So yeah, so she's like, you're building me a car? And so then they get into the car so she can kind of see what's happening inside. And Dean tells Rory that he loves her. And she's like, I love the car. Ooh. I feel like when someone says you love them, if you don't feel it, you don't have to say it right away because, you know, love can grow. But that was kind of one of the worst things to say immediately. Like, I even feel like if you said thank you, that would have been better. And so, yeah, so she starts talking about the car. She's just like, she goes into like this whole explanation about how love is like a big thing and how it's hard for her to say it because she's never said it before, and it just means a lot and she needs to think about it and process. And that to me kind of made sense. So I was kind of like with Rory, but Dean got upset, which I can kind of understand, but the way he handled it was kind of childish. But then again, he is still a child, a teen, so he's still figuring out emotions and how to deal with them. So he was kind of childish, and we find out in the end of the episode that they break up. So yeah, that is where we are. This episode was definitely a lot less drama than the last one, but we did get some drama in the Rory and Dean storyline. But yeah, I just thoroughly enjoyed Lorelai this episode and her hating on all the couples. It killed me, because I'm not gonna lie, sometimes you are kind of hating if you're not in a relationship and you see couples everywhere, like especially around Valentine's Day. You start hating because you're like, come on, really? And so that was pretty much like Lorelai summed up all the memes you see of like the couple and the single person. Lorelai played it to the T. Like, she killed it. She was very entertaining, and I enjoyed this episode because really Lorelai just had me rolling. Like, just the face she would make, she was like, really, come on. Yeah, it was very enjoyable. Now, it would be nice if we can get a break from Dean for a few episodes, but who knows? I feel like we're going to see him in the next episode and they'll probably get back together. I honestly do not remember what happens, because I kind of thought her grandfather and grandmother gave Rory the car.
This has been another episode of Real Talk with Noelle.